a bedroom when I was living with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and it was totally my fault. I was trying to be more careful with it, and I was not at the time. And I sat down on my bed and heard a crunch, and I was like,
Oh man.
so, but it's still fine. Like it works. It just has this crack going through it. It's I'm just absolutely refusing to get a new any type of anything. Like I'm like, man, I really just don't want to
I just don't want to
spend
spend the money on anything new. I,
just
you know what? Instead of my screen has been cracked for like weeks, and
Mhm.
I finally replaced the screen, but I decided to replace the screen on my own instead of paying like $160 to replace it. I paid 60 to get the screen and like the tools. I still fucked up my phone because the thing that the face recognition, I broke it. And now I have like I have to put in my code every time, but they're never gonna look for facial recognition features. They just want to make sure the phone turns on.
Right. Right. Hi,
So yeah.
Madison.
Hi. Wait. Why are
Yep,
we live? I can't find it. I don't know what
we
happened
are
to
live. It's okay.
Oh, I see it on.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Madison.
anybody
Edwards. Hi. How are
here?
you? Happy
Hi,
Sunday
everybody.
evening.
Yeah,
Copy.
happy Sunday. Here, and I guess, can I? Oh, no, I probably have to switch.
Witchy-Woo woo.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I did that on purpose.
I love
Okay,
it.
let's see here.
Post.
Is it? Yes, we did. We decided to kind of switch it up. Um, I don't know. I'm digging the chill Sunday evening vibes.
Yeah.
I am.
I like
Yeah.
Sunday evenings. Sunday evenings
Mm,
feel a little bit better because at least we're not rushing to get anywhere. We're not like pissed off at the week behind us. Like,
You no. Friday night. Trying to pin in the comments.
yeah, let me.
I'm doing it. I just
Oh,
have
you
to
got
type
it?
it out. Yeah, I just have to
Okay.
type it out because my clipboard was stupid.
Well, that's cool.
Hmm. We might be a little slow tonight because it's Oscars.
Oh, yeah. Wait, is
I
the
I don't
Oscars the.
care. Like I was like, man, how unimportant have celebrities become? At least to me, and at least how with the pandemic, like how unimportant
Yeah.
in my
Well, they're
opinion.
pretty much just doing it for themselves. Nobody really cares anymore. Um, but wait, is it the Oscars that is the gay Super Bowl, or am I thinking of something else? The Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes are like, I feel like that's like for the actors.
Mm.
I think like that's like actors choosing other actors.
So it's basically just people glad handing each other, which sucks.
I think so.
Mm.
I feel like it, yes. Okay. Right, Madison? Do people still watch that? Apparently. Apparently.
I mean, there's
I
tons of posts on Facebook about like what people are wearing tonight. So I'm pretty sure some people are watching and caring.
I mean, I should not give somebody grief because I get if that's what brings you joy,
Yeah, true.
that's what brings you joy. And you know, who am I to judge because, you know, who am I to judge?
Who
Who am
are
I to
any of us to
judge?
judge in reality?
Who?
I mean,
Who?
yeah, whatever brings people joy, that's cool. If you're not killing anybody, you're doing something stupid, even better. Just
Right?
enjoy 2 hours of movies and TV shows that
Right.
nobody is ever going to watch. But
Well, I mean, I heard Dune got nominated for a lot, which is like yay, yay for sci-fi getting some recognition as far as like,
Ooh,
you know, being a legitimate cinematic art, cuz that's I kind of, obviously the Academy and the Oscars, they're very, it is very political,
mhm.
and I love my sci-fis, I love my horror, and very, you know, they're very elitist, if you will, to those genres. And
That
it's
I
like
get.
man, I've seen some really brilliant horror films that gave me like, whew, you know, within within the past like 5 years too. I've
Mhm.
seen some pretty lovely horror films that I felt really, yeah, why the hell wasn't that nominated? Man.
Have you ever seen the movie? I think we talked about this a while ago. Have you ever seen the movie Rubber? And it was one of the first like Netflix originals, I think.
No.
This is years ago when
Hi
Netflix was
Lex.
still like
Hi
in the
Lorraine.
middle.
Lorraine.
Hi, hi. When Netflix was still offering more lesser prices and more DVDs from home, there was a movie called Rubber, and it was a parody of a parody. It was literally
Mm.
a movie about a killer tire. The tire became sentient and decided it was going to
Yes.
start killing shit, and it used its like tire rubber madness like genes to like stomp on a can, and then it killed a bird, and then it started killing other people. And the meta way of doing it was that it was all a movie within a movie because people wanted to see this tire kill people. So there were people filming a movie of the tire just randomly roaming around
Huh.
killing people.
Huh. I'll have to look into that because I really enjoy movies like that.
Mhm.
I really like those kind of off the wall. I don't want to even say off the wall. Those off, like the B movies. One of the most favorite B movies I just recently saw was called Velocipaster,
Velocipaster?
and it was a pastor that was bitten by some kind of radioactive time traveling velociraptor, if I'm not mistaken, which then essentially turned him into like a velociraptor, is like a Spider-Man of sorts, but with a velociraptor. Yes, Madison watched Russian Doll,
Oh
freaking
my god.
loved it. I really hope they bring it back. I have heard they are. Um, because it really kind of put it on a big cliffhanger. Um,
Ooh,
but I get scared to get too attached to any Netflix show because they like to cancel very quickly.
mhm,
And so, I feel like that's just kind of Netflix's thing, is like, oh, we're gonna end on this really crazy cliffhanger. Like they've done it with pretty much every
right.
single show that I enjoy that they have canceled.
We've got
Um,
we've got you hooked, and now that we've got you hooked and paying 19.99 a month,
dude,
we're gonna we're
seriously.
gonna take it away because how dare you like something that we offer?
What I also find frustrating about Netflix, if you're listening, is that when you started creating original content, you said that you wouldn't do this. You said you wouldn't create content and be like TV, and be like mainstream TV, and just,
Yeah.
the OA. I almost canceled Netflix because they canceled that show. I've almost canceled my Netflix twice. They have one more strike. One more strike. I have
Come on.
not, as I said, it's been very arm's distance. They canceled Sense8. They canceled the OA. They canceled
Sense8.
Sabrina. Um, Santa Clarita Diet. Um, yeah.
See,
They
Sense8 was actually a really good show, and I don't understand why they would cancel something like that because it had everything that you would really want in a show. Like I was interested in it, and I hate everything. So
yeah. Yeah, they canceled Cowboy Bebop. They canceled Cowboy
no,
Bebop 2 days after they released it.
ugh.
Like and I don't need, purists coming at me and being like, "Bleh." I'm aware. I've
Right.
watched the anime. It was the first anime TV series that I ever watched and broke my heart, and that I loved and broke my heart. Um, so yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. Netflix is on thin ice, and now I'm getting charged $16 a month,
I feel
and
like you're only
and
getting charged $16 a
because
month.
I'm waiting
Mm-hmm.
because I'm hearing that within the next few months, if you are having other people log in, you're gonna get charged
Heard
$2.99
about that. How do
to
they?
have
But how
them to give
would
them
they know?
access.
How would they know
Probably
what
IP addresses, because you're logging in from a very specific IP address,
right? But if you're using
and
like
it could let
NordVPN
you
and
like
something,
my billing, everything associated with me is where I am down to the zip code,
mm-hmm.
which is very clearly different than where, say, my sister is in her zip code, where her IP address is.
Right,
And it unfortunately would be, I feel like it would be easy to tell. Dude, seriously.
right. It would be.
Yeah, the OA really, they, I haven't had TV shows impact me as spiritually as Sense8 and the OA did. And to have both of those canceled on me was very it hurt my spirit. I'm still recovering, to be
What was
quite.
OA? Because I don't remember that one.
So, oh, it is very, very, very hard to explain, but it's interdimensional.
Oh,
Um, and it's very spiritual. It has Phyllis from The Office in it, which is just a beautiful treat. Um, yeah, it has one of the people from Walking Dead. Um,
ooh,
fuck, it has God, what is I don't know her name, but she's been in everything. She was in Aliens. She played Vasquez in Alien. She was in Terminator 2. She played the foster mom in Terminator 2. I've had such a crush on her for like ever. Yeah. But it gets so much more than just a kidnapped dude, than just a dude who
whoa,
kidnapped a bunch of people and is experimenting on them. Like you think that's what the show's going to be about and you're like, "Oh god, man." And then you're like,
gotcha.
"Wait a minute. This is this is a very different thing that we're watching, isn't it?"
What is going on? I get that Netflix wants to like have the best of everything, but they keep fucking with people. Like the fact that our I'm watching from my computer or from like at this point, I feel like Hulu has better entertainment than Netflix. Netflix doesn't like all their original stuff from oh god, what's his name? Adam Sandler. They keep giving Adam Sandler money to throw at like some original programming, and he's like just creating crazy characters. I mean, no offense, Adam Sandler used to be funny. Now he's just you can tell he just doesn't care. You can tell he just is like,
Yeah.
oh, I have $40 million. Me and my friends, we're gonna go to like the Philippines and just go buck wild and maybe film a movie.
I kind of feel like a lot of those comedians from the 90s, they had their purpose, they had their time.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rat Pack. The Rat Pack had its purpose, it had its time, and that was it.
Yeah. Your time has passed.
It's very much, I think that a lot of the humor, and I think that if I were to probably listen to some of the comedy albums from Adam Sandler, which I absolutely adored as a teenager, I probably would come away wondering, hmm, there's probably a lot of, as the kids say these days, problematic material.
Right.
Because a lot of the 80s and 90s humor was very much based on
Race,
racism, stereotype,
sexism,
homophobia, xenophobia.
because that shit
Um,
was funny back in the 80s.
right. A lot of the things, you know, I'm aware that comedy has to be I'm aware that comedy has to push boundaries, but as they say, you don't have to punch down in
Right.
order for it to be funny.
Right.
And I definitely feel that only that yes, if you are black, you can make jokes about your own people. That is acceptable. Me as a white woman, I could probably come up with a lot of white women tear jokes that might be offensive to other white women that use those tears. Um, but I'm also a queer woman, and so I could make jokes about queerness and as long as it's not punching down and
Mhm.
kind of playing to, I feel like the heteronormative, um, it's okay, but again, we, and I know you and I feel like we talk about this every week. A lot of the reason that people get upset or feel like they can't make a joke anymore is because a lot of our jokes are rooted in heteronormative normative
Right.
ways, patriarchy, and a lot of different things,
Right.
like yeah.
Yeah, and we get to this point where okay, people are honestly saying, well, if it was the 80s, yeah, but we're not in the 80s anymore. We've moved past this whole thing where you're going to take a stereotype and you're going to make fun of it and it's going to be funny. Move past it. Be better than what we
Hmm.
already have been. Like I'm a cis white male. There's not much that I can make fun of unless it's myself. And when I was living in the Bay Area, I had a whole bunch of Asian friends that kept joking with me and saying, "Hey, where's your white privilege? Like, use your white privilege to get us something." And I'm just like, "All right, cool." But they, as long as you can joke about it, but like, I would very scarily tiptoe around it and be like, "All right, well, I have white privilege," and we would joke, but I couldn't say it the like as a fact because as soon as they said it as a fact, it would be like, "Ooh, now it's kind of scary." But as soon
Right.
as they said it and we laughed about it, I would watch and everybody would turn around and just look at me. I'm like, oh, okay. These people don't think it's a joke. I realize it's a joke, but I have to be very careful about what I say and what I do.
Because it's a fine line. It is, because you're 100% correct, because yes, you do have it,
Mm,
and yes, it's you know you know
yeah.
but it's a
Right. It's like I want to laugh about it, but if I laugh, then everybody else is going to point fingers at me. So I would just take the joke as it is. And even like my friends, we were in a car, and I would be sitting in the back, and they're like, "Okay, if we get stopped by a cop, you are our white privilege. You will get us out of this." I'm like, "Oh, it's going this way." Then,
That's
damn.
right. There's a white person in the car, we're fine.
Yeah, yeah. As long as there's one white dude, it's cool. We'll get out of the ticket. We won't all be taken to
And
jail.
the sad part about it is, I guarantee you, in some cases, that that has happened. It's
Yeah.
happened. You know, um, I know. God, I think it's no. I got stopped by the cops a lot as a goth kid because that was the whole stereotype of goth kids, and I mean, I'd just be walking down the street. I think I was walking down the street one time and a cop stopped me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, walking."
Is that all you're doing?
Walking. Where are you walking
No.
to? Mm, I'm not walking anywhere in particular. Like, I'm just walking. People just walk.
It's a thing that people do.
Yeah. But then on the flip side, it was homecoming. Me and my gothy friends got super nice, super well dressed. We did get pulled over on homecoming night. And the cops were like, "Oh, you guys in homecoming?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, that's cute." And we were like, "Hey, can we take
Aw,
pictures?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll take pictures with you kids." We did. We took pictures. We took pictures with the cops. We took pictures with the cops, and one of my friends had drugs on them. Like a lot
oh,
of like in trouble. We could have gotten in trouble drugs.
right.
And I remember I was like, "Oh God. Oh no. Oh no." But
Oh
we were
no, what you
white,
doing?
and so it was
Right,
okay. We were a bunch of white kids in a car dressed nice and had gone to homecoming.
right.
We were doing the normal things that kids are supposed to do. Conforming. We were conforming, Matt. We were
And because you were
conforming.
conforming, the cops just let you go.
Yeah, they
Well,
did. They did.
well, and I
They were
was,
drugs. Drugs.
and if they would have, well, they wouldn't have found the drugs because you're white kids, and they have no reason to really search white kids.
They
I,
didn't. They didn't. For all intents and purposes, they should have. Because they put our flashlights up and they were like, "Oh, you kids going to homecoming?" And we were like, "Uh-huh, we're going back. We're done. We're going home. We ate, we're going home." "Oh, okay. All right. Why don't you just step out of the car for a bit while we, go ahead and run the driver's ID. You're minors. Go ahead and step out of the car." We're like, "Okay." We stepped out of the car. You know?
wow.
Yeah. 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 Oh, good times. Good
Yeah,
times.
I
Good
was
times.
I was the only. So this is a story from maybe like 10 years ago or something. I was in, I think I was in LA or Orange County, and we were all, I was with a group of like four people. We were waiting for a studio to open up, to go record. I was the only white person of the group. Cops rolled up. Like, "What are kids doing?" And they're all like, "We're waiting." And they looked at me and like, "You got anything on you?" I'm like, "Wait a second, what?" um, no, but he was a training officer, and all the other people. So out of four people in the car, I was the only person that wasn't doing anything else. I wasn't talking to the cop. I wasn't beatboxing, and I wasn't on the phone. I was just kind of standing there. And the cop looks at me and then looks at the dude he's training. He's like, "So you want to run his information?" I'm like, "Wait a second, what?" He's like, "Yeah." Turn around. I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I had to put you in handcuffs." I'm like, "No, please. What are you doing?" And he's holding me, putting me in handcuffs, searching me. He's like, "You got anything in your pocket?" I'm like, "What do you think this is?" Meanwhile, like all three people are doing their own thing. One of my friend is literally talking to the other cop, and I'm literally being searched. And I'm like, "Fuck,
You just had
man."
that
Like,
look, Matt.
huh? Yeah.
You just had that look, Matt.
I had that look. I had that like you're white boy in the wrong part of town look. Like you're selling drugs, right? You're selling fentanyl.
Right?
You're doing something.
Of
But
course.
then,
Why
like when
not?
I lived in Hollywood, I would walk from my ex girlfriend's house to my house. It was like a mile and a half, but it was the seedy part of Hollywood. And three times I wouldn't even get stopped by the cops. The cops would trail me in their car and literally shine a flashlight on me, and I would look at them and they look at me, and I'm like, I don't know if I should be walking. I don't know what I should be doing. And only one time did they say, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Why? What's wrong?" "Well, do you see where you're at?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm walking home."
I
Like,
never.
if I was anything other than white, you wouldn't be asking me if I was okay. You'd be asking me other questions.
Right? You'd be, yeah, no, no. I never had cops ask me if I was okay. Never had a cop ask me if I was okay, ever.
Are you in the wrong section of town, sir? Can we help you with something?
Nope.
No, I'm good. I'm totally good.
No. Nope. But no. Yeah,
Bad boy.
Matt, you're a bad boy. You just got
Mm.
that look about you. You know?
It's the eyes. It's the way I look. Now it's the purple hair.
Yep. Right.
Oh, Madison, did I ever have a chat with your ghostly roommates? Yes and no. They're kind of doing their own thing. Um, they do what they want to do. We're not like they're. I haven't necessarily moved on, but they're kind of it seems they're focused on other things right now, and I don't can't tell what they're focused on, but they'll disappear for days on end and then come back.
Hmm.
There was one so when I was when I cleaned out my dad's house, I had brought something home with me,
Oh.
and it like followed me. And the last time the indigenous person that usually lives in my living room was in my hallway, and I saw him in the hallway. I'm like, oh well, shit. If you don't want to be in there, I know something's up. And I woke up that night and something was just staring directly at me. And then the next night, which is a Sunday, like something, like I kept seeing something out of the corner of my eye because I was doing a reading. So I had to stop the reading. I had to force this fucker out of my house,
Mm.
and it caused the lights to dim. It caused the Zoom meeting that I was on to freeze for a second. But it's like a poltergeist. It was literally like as soon as I shoved it out, it was fine. I have no idea where it went, but it hasn't been back. And things have been quiet in my house. So
Well, good. That's good.
yeah.
No. Nope. All I've been dealing with are these children. Um, so they moved into a different apartment, clearly a different
Ooh,
apartment, but they're playing like right by where, my balcony is. And I don't care. It's whatever. They're kids. I'm not going to
right.
fucking, you know, look at kids. Like, no. But man, they have got some mouths on them. Like, that is
Kids.
my problem.
Ooh.
like, Like I heard one of them be like, "You mother!" Like they use the mother effer in context, and I'm like, "Dude, you're 5. You're 5. You sound 5."
How in the world are kids this age
It's because
using
there's older
that foul
kids.
language?
I've
Oh,
seen it.
because it's the
It's
cool thing to do.
right. So I'm pretty sure that it's um I'm pretty sure it's a family. It's a group. It's a group. There's older ones because I've heard the older ones talk. And I think they're like 10, anywhere between 10 to 12, I would say. And of course, they talk like 10 to 12. And they listen to music
Of
sometimes and
course.
it's whatever. But I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. When kids curse, I just like, I'm like, whoa. And I try to be like, okay, you started cursing when you were like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like really full time, being like, you know what? That's right. I'm letting these F bombs fly, you
Because
know?
I'm cool. I want to be with the cool people,
Right.
right? Yeah.
But I don't remember cursing at and no, and I'm sure they do, and I'm not going to judge the adults, and it could be that it's the 10 to 12-year-olds because 10 to 12-year-olds have phones and the internet and it's not monitored. Unfortunately, I know a lot of parents don't monitor what their kids are consuming
Right.
these days and ugh, you know.
Because why would they? They're only parents. I mean, I can't say anything. I'm not a parent.
I
Like,
can't.
how am I gonna like judge somebody's
But that's
parenting skills when I myself wouldn't want a kid, wouldn't know what the hell to do. But if you're like, I remember back in the '80s when we were kids and like growing up, and like there was no such thing as cell phones, but we always wanted beepers. And like the worst thing was watching rock music and having your parents think it was like the devil's music and like showing you a video and like why rock music is bad. Whatever happened to that?
So
Whatever
I
happened
didn't
to
I
like
didn't grow up in that household, Matt. You and I grew up in really different households. I was the kid that so when I was 5, I loved Billy Idol. I was
ooh.
convinced that we were going to get married, that I was going to grow up and I was going to marry him. And so it was a birthday party. I had a birthday party and my parents were like, we do remember there were some looks on some parents' faces when the kids were dancing to Billy Idol when they came to pick up their kids. There were some looks
Right. What are
from
you
some
doing to my child?
parents,
Right.
you know. I and this is not a slight to my parents. If my parents are watching this. For anyone that knows my parents are watching this, okay? However, I was 6 years old. My sister was having a preteen sleepover Halloween because we grew up in Nevada. And back in the day, Nevada Day used to be celebrated on November 1st.
What is
So
Nevada Day?
Nevada Day is the celebration of the founding of the state of Nevada.
Oh,
And
of course.
it used to be like an actual state holiday and they used to give kids the day off of school.
Hmm.
So for pretty much all of my young childhood life, I grew up with the day after Halloween being no school. There's no school.
That's gonna be great,
So,
especially for you as a goth kid too.
well, no, I did not spend my gothic youth in Nevada. Well, in Reno, Nevada, when Nevada Day was celebrated, and actually they gave kids the day off.
Right.
Because it changed. I think when I was like 12 or something, and I had moved anyways. But my sister had a slumber party. It was a Halloween slumber party, and they rented scary movies. And one of the scary movies was Pet Cemetery, and my parents were like, "No, Elizabeth, this is a really scary movie." And I was like, "No, no, no, no. I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. Okay.
I can deal with this.
I am gonna be with my sister and her friends because I am not going. I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby. Babies can't watch this movie. I'm not a baby. Elizabeth, I really don't think you should watch this movie. I'm not a baby. Okay, fine. Go ahead. I love my mom and dad dearly. Mom, dad, I love you. However, if I was in your shoes, I would not have said, okay, fine, whatever. Go ahead and watch this movie.
I had the same issue with Robert Stack and Unsolved Mysteries. So I used to love watching it, and I think it used to be on Wednesday nights. And it wasn't my dad; it was my dad's husband. And every Wednesday night, like clockwork, like I'm gonna watch Unsolved Mysteries, and he would turn to me. He's like, "Are you going to be okay?" He's like, "Because you get freaked out and you get scared and you don't go to bed." I'm like, "I'm gonna be fine." And then like all of a sudden, ghosts and aliens would come on, and I'd be like, "I don't want to go to bed because I'm gonna be abducted by aliens and see ghosts." It's like
The
I
Bermuda
knew it.
Triangle's gonna kill me.
Yeah, the Bermuda Triangle is gonna envelop all of New Hampshire at the time. Like, I'm gonna find a way to like make contact with the dead. Granted, I was like 11. Who knew? What
Right? Right. There
25
are some
years later.
things.
Right.
There are some things that I giggle and go, okay, well,
Right.
it's a little foreshadowing there.
It's like, and then it was Robert Stack's voice. Somehow, Robert Stack's voice would always give me goosebumps up and down my arms. Like, oh god, it's scary. And then like it's always the last story that they talked about that was like, here's an alien or here's an
Right.
unexplained phenomenon. I'm like, oh great, you're going to send me off to bed, and I'm gonna like have to be under the covers waiting for something to pick me up. And
See,
he would always look at me as like, see, I told you we should not let you watch this. I'm like, but you did. You did, and these are the consequences.
fact or fiction used to really mess me up
Ooh,
with
I remember
the
Fact or Fiction.
Riker from Next Generation used to
Right.
host, and he used to tell these really crazy stories. And there were some times where I'm like, dude, there's no way that happened. There is no way that happened. And they were like, this is fact, and I was like, oh god, no, no.
It
I mean,
can't
I
be
love that
happening.
show, and I'd probably watch it like if it was like on or something. So I'm going to share this deep thought with the rest of the world because I had this deep thought, really
Okay.
super high deep thought. Okay. I was watching old episodes of Maury. All right. And it was the paternity.
You are not the father.
And the chick was like, oh, we met on MySpace. And I laughed to myself and I meant, man, MySpace was like 15, 16 years ago now. And then I was like, wait a minute. MySpace was 15, 16 years ago now. And then I had the revelation that Maury has been doing paternity since I was like 14, 13, 14. There are children that are grown ass fucking adults whose parents have been on Maury, and either they were the daddy or they weren't the daddy.
Oh my god. What's
So
that? Wow.
one such as myself on a Saturday could be like, what's on Pluto TV? Oh, they have a Maury channel. Let's watch some Maury.
Right. Oh my
That is
god.
myself as a baby. That is my mother. I'm almost 30 years old.
Dad, why were you so happy that you weren't the father?
Right?
Like, or
That's
why do you
another
look
that's
so
another
sad
thing
that you
I
were the
thought about
father?
too.
Right.
Is like because there was this one where it was like the mom, the sister that were like, no, you're just a hoe, you're just a hoe.
Oh god.
That baby's not ours, blah blah, just saying horrible, vile things. And yes, the baby was the man's. And they kept saying, well, no, you're still just trash. We still don't want anything to do with that baby. And I was like, man, that kid's like anywhere between like 17 and 20 years old right now and has access to this, can watch this. Like,
that is not a good how do you
super,
do.
super entertaining, of course. But yeah, so
Right.
I, of course, shared that thought with my sister. And
Well,
she has
also,
gotten
go
back
ahead.
to me and said that she just can't stop thinking about it because it's so like, holy fuck.
Well, it's funny to watch like the progression of the daytime talk shows like Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, and then Geraldo like doing an about face and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna invite on Nazis," and that was his bread and butter. And
Right.
what's his name? Jerry Springer. Like Jerry Springer was the turnabout of daytime TV because instead of like you're the father, you're not the father, it was like, all right, go out, you're going to battle, and that's going to be the whole TV show.
Yes, and something I noticed about Jerry because of course, Pluto has this channel. It's called the Nose. It's called Nosy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got Jerry, Maury, Steve, and the British version of Jenny Jones, which is Trisha. Fucking love Trisha. Okay, like makes you just feel good to know that in the UK,
Right.
they got we're
They
the
still have
same.
it.
We're the same, bro.
We
We're
all
the
have
same.
the same issues, no
We're
matter
just
where you live.
we're just as much white trash as they are.
Yeah.
Good to know. Upper crust, my ass. Where do you think we got it from? Anyways, but I was watching Jerry and I had to stop because it was so fucking transphobic and homophobic. And I'm like, oh my God, this is where so many people probably got some of their transphobia and
Hmm.
homophobia from this
Right.
fucking show. Like, and so, like, of course, I was like, I ruined it. They ruined it. I ruined it. I can't watch this show. I can't watch Cops
I can't
anymore
do this anymore.
either.
Right.
I couldn't watch Cops. I tried to watch Cops this weekend, and I was like, I
Oh,
can't watch this show anymore because all I kept thinking was, oh my God, get your knee off of his fucking neck. Oh my God, why are you on him like that? Oh my God, why are they doing that? Like,
right.
it was not enjoyable for me at all whatsoever.
You
And I
remember
used
when
to be big into Cops, man.
I was about to say, I remember when Cops was like appointment viewing, like every Saturday on Fox was like, oh, I get to see Cops, and then like
Yes.
it was the best show ever. And now looking at old episodes from the 80s and 90s, like, oh, this has not aged well.
No.
It's definitely
No.
like you could not say or do the things that they did back in the day now because people would be up in arms and you would be fired very quickly.
Dude, it was. He was like 17. He was like 17. And I like two cops were on. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, okay, I can't watch this anymore. Like, I couldn't because, man, like, and I would clearly that boy lived,
Mm-hmm. But
but
still, right.
how many haven't? So it just, yeah, it did. It was sad. So, and I couldn't do it. So I did. I went back to Maury because at least I could watch that and be like, man, this sucks. But it wasn't
Yeah.
so much like, oh dear God, please
It's
make it
only you are
stop.
not the father,
Right.
or we're gonna bring somebody, one of your lost loves from 35 years ago, and they've totally changed.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the cheating ones too. Like, oh man, did you really?
The
You know,
cheating
and
ones,
then
no matter what show it was, the cheating ones made no sense because the woman would always hype it up, be like, "Yeah, I cheated on you with this hot, sexy thing," and the hot, sexy thing would show up, and it'd be like a little person, or just like the worst looking person on the face of the earth, like,
and
"Yeah, rocked the
it's
world
just
last night," and she's like, "Oh God, no, I did not cheat on you with that thing." Like,
and it's and that's such a that's ableist, like there's
mhm.
so like
Right.
you know, it's very
But it also gets
hard.
ratings. It
It's
also gets
hard.
ratings at that moment when people have nothing better to do. Because let's face it, if you're watching any one of these talk shows at 2:30 during the weekday, what what else you got going on unless you're working at night?
Right.
So it's pandering to the lowest common denominator, and we've all been there. Like, because I remember when I was a grade school kid and I had the day off, I would watch soap operas and think, "God damn, this is the sexiest thing I've ever seen," and then watch Maury Povich and wonder like what else was going to go on. Like, that is life at a certain point, and I get why people enjoy it because it takes you out of that thought process of what am I going to do with my life for at least an hour.
Well, well, and then it also made me wonder, like, okay, do some of these people have like some like were some of these people weirdly living out some of their kinks on national television? Like, especially the women that like had the men that were like, she needs to sit on her knees when she is with me. She crawls on all floors. Like, I was watching one of them and I was like, are you
You're kinky.
doing your kink right now on national television? I am aware that the yes, I'm aware
Right.
that men like this exist. But there was a few that I was just
I
like,
joined.
you and your partner planned this, didn't you? You're gonna go back to your room and Really intense. So yeah, no. Cuz I had a friend who my goth friend, her and her mom thought it would be funny to go on Sally and be like, her mom pretended to hate her gothness, and so she
Right.
got a makeover, and but they it was not true. Her mom could have cared less that she was goth, but they got the free trip
Of
to
course.
wherever Sally, like they were like, "Hey, it's a vacation for us." And so they
Chicago,
did.
I think.
And then they got to be on TV, and she my friend got made over and she absolutely hated it, and she said Sally Jesse Raphael looked really scary in person because that had been really heavy. Her plastic surgery had gotten very heavy at that
Didn't she have
point, and
cancer too? Like she actually had breast cancer or something?
I don't know.
Mm,
I'm not 100% sure on that one. So, but it makes you think,
yeah.
um, and there are quite a few people that I've seen like do interviews that are like, "Oh no, we totally lied. Like there was no love triangle. Like we all pretended because one, we wanted to get on TV, and two, we wanted the trip paid for."
Right. And that's the way the judge shows are too. Like all those judge shows, again, pandering lowest common denominator, they're trying to find the craziest thing. So they're gonna pay for you to come out. They're gonna pay for the judgment, but it just needs
Hmm.
to be good TV. So both parties, yeah, they're gonna get like 3 days in LA, but they have to play it up for the camera, play up the drama because
Yep,
it still has to be really good TV. So
it
I've
does.
been in the audience of those judge shows, and you look like I've looked at some of the defendants, and like you guys are totally just messing with everybody, and
Hmm.
they know it too. But
Yeah.
as long as it makes good TV, as long as Judge Judy gets her $15 million a year, that's all that matters.
Man, I wanted to go on Ricky Lake so bad. Like I remember I begged my mom. Like I was like we could, it doesn't matter. Like I'm like, you don't care that I'm goth. Like we could have some fun and meet Ricky
Right.
fucking Lake. Like,
Oh yeah.
and but no, she didn't want to do it.
Oh man.
Made me sad because I really did. I did. I wanted to, you know, because that's when, because there was, when the rave and the goth phases really started hitting, man, there were tons of makeover shows. Tons,
That's
you
what all it
know.
was for like a year straight was just like every plastic surgery and the swan and oh this
Right.
is how you look now and even oh god the biggest loser was the fucking biggest farce forever.
Oh God, I've heard horrible things. Like
So have
like
I.
people were actually like hospitalized.
Yeah,
Like
because they
and
kept
like they've been told to do things that like could have killed them.
yeah. Like
Oh no.
you
Yeah,
keep
no,
people who
no.
are like 500-600 pounds that probably haven't worked out for ever, and then keep them moving for 14 hours straight and make them move. Like they kept there's people who have like fractured limbs
Yes.
and just gotten very sick because you're getting people to lose 20-30 pounds in a week. That is incredibly unhealthy.
It's horrible. It's
And
horrible for you.
and what was it on NBC? It was NBC's or whatever bread and butter for years
Mhm.
because we don't want to see the fat people. We just want to see them lose weight and
Right.
and
Right.
and be
God
healthy.
forbid.
But yeah,
God forbid we portray obese people in a healthy light.
right.
I didn't look it up because I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole. But I saw a TikTok that claimed that the person who invented the BMI was a man, and it was based off of his body weight and what he thought it would be, and it has something to do with like outer space.
Oh
Like
god,
he weighed his own, like it was against his own body weight. He was not a scientist. at
Shocking.
all.
Yeah. Right.
And like there is absolutely like and they've taken it and run. Like the doctors have taken it and run. And there are people that are like, there is no basis. There is no
Mm-hmm.
actual medical basis for this.
Right.
I
People
haven't
still use
researched
it as
it.
fact. Like, like they don't take into account uh, anything else in your body. If it's like, oh, you have a BMI of 30, you're fat. Okay, well, can you tell me anything else? Obviously, like what happens if you're muscular? What happens if you're shorter? What happens if you're taller? It doesn't take anything into account. It's like
Mm-mm.
one size fits all.
How's my
Nothing.
cardiovascular health?
Right.
Like, you
Right.
know, I mean, in order for, it's my understanding with the very rudimentary, hi Gabby, um, with the
I.
very rudimentary understanding I have is that it's it's when you start to tread into the cardiovascular and hypertension and
Mhm.
that okay, it's worrisome.
Yeah.
But you know what? Completely thin people can have hypertension.
Most thin people, there's a lot of people who are thin who eat like shit and have really, really high blood pressure, have heart conditions, have everything. Like we do expect people with weight issues to have more cardiovascular issues, more heart issues, and people seem shocked when they don't. Like there are actually and I will say healthy quotes because
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to be really overweight and healthy, but you can find that there are people who are overweight that are healthier than people who are skinny and who just eat like shit. And
Right.
we can't keep telling people like one diet works for all or this works for everybody.
Doesn't.
And there are people out there who are like, no, this works, this works. It does. It doesn't work for everybody because if it doesn't work for everybody, then you can't say one size fits all. Like there are people out there struggling for years, like low metabolism, just issues internally, and we people are looking at them going, why can't you just? Well, maybe you can't. Maybe you really can't lose weight. Maybe there is something internally wrong, and yet social media and the news and every sort of media is like, if you're fat, there's a problem with you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, maybe the problem isn't really with us. Maybe the problem is look at all this food that is tempting. Look at all the food that we've processed and put loads of sugar and salt in, and you're telling people to do more with less. And the least amount of the least food that you can buy that's cheap is like fast food, whereas apples and stuff that's healthy for you somehow is magically more expensive. But I can get a hamburger at McDonald's for like $1.
Well, and it also goes into some weird psychological because the society that we're in has taught us that thinness equals innate goodness,
Mm-hmm.
and
Which is
that
bullshit. Right.
and that anything that is not thin is nefarious and is not even nefarious, but is not in line with innate goodness.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
it's the same that we've done with money. We have equated mass amounts of wealth with innate goodness when really, as it's being exposed, that's very much the opposite.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very much.
The more, and the fact that we're looking at, oh, I don't have $1 million in the bank. I'm lacking something. I'm lacking goodness. I'm lacking this amount of money that could potentially help me. The more money you have, the worse it gets. And even Snoop Dogg, more money, more problems. It's true. The more money you make, the more problems you're going to have. Money does not equal happiness, and money does not equal goodness. I mean, look at the Koch brothers. Like, they're billionaires, and they funnel all their stupidity and their idealisms into conservative think tanks. For conservatives, they want a conservative nation. But just because they have money Like, it doesn't mean they're good. It doesn't mean they're pious people. But we look at money. We also look at people who are a Christian. Like, we've become a Christian nation. Like, Christians are automatically pious people. No, they're fucking not. I have met the most horrible, insane Christians out there that would probably stab somebody in the back. Does that mean everybody who is Christian is bad? No, but because we often work in generalities in the U.S. or in the world, we ought to often just equate U.S. is a Christian nation. Okay, but the U.S. also we've had sex trafficking. We've kept people as slaves. So does a Christian nation really equate to anything positive? I'd say no. Just because we believe in God does not mean shit.
Well, no, lots of people have believed in God, but it's
Right.
what is the definition of God? If you
Right.
the indigenous people have a creator, which is a godlike figure. Um, you know, it's you know, I'm I'm watching I'm watching a show, and I've been watching a show. It's called Outlander. It's
Mm-hmm.
fluff. It's so silly, but it's about a time traveling woman, and she is back in time right before the American Revolution.
Ooh.
And they, of course, are portraying uh, early Native Americans, more in particular the Cherokee. And it's so interesting. One, I'm like, okay, I have to wonder, is this, obviously they had, people, I have to assume they had indigenous, people that were there to make sure that as much as factual was factual, but it really was like, man, this was the start. This was the start of colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, this is fucking it's weird. It's weird. Like I had a really existential moment, and a part of me is like, man, do I really want to watch this show anymore? Like, I mean, it was cool before she crossed the ocean. And,
Mm-hmm.
when it was back in Scottish Highland days, okay, I could be like,
Right.
oh, it was just the British, I was over there, but now they're really talking about, actual things that happened,
Mm-hmm.
the main characters have a daughter who's grown up, and she grew up in the 60s, and her and her mom traveled back in time together to be with her father, who is a Scotsman, an ancient Scotsman. That's the premise of the movie. That's the premise of the TV show, basically. And he asks her, what happened to the Cherokee, and she talks about the Trail of Tears and how 8,000 of them died. 8,000.
Jesus.
And it really was like, fuck, how many elders? Because that it was the young,
Mm-hmm.
it was the elderly that died.
Yeah.
You know.
History basically died.
And how many generations were wiped out in that moment. And it was fucking mind blowing. I have a feeling this show is going to be really like, whew, whew,
But I think we also need more shows like that show a different view than the happy-go-lucky shit that we're told as
right?
kids, or
The fucking
or the
Dances with
whole
Wolves version,
right,
you
the whole
know.
idea that like kids are being told like the whitewashed version of history. Like we need the hard version of truth, because it's never told. It's never, like, we're never told that people had to scrimp and save. We're never told that people went through horrible shit. Even Manifest Destiny, like the Dust Bowl, shit like that. We're never told about that. we're just told, oh, the U.S. went through an industrial revolution and we became the strongest nation on earth. It's all bullshit. It's all a narcissistic way of thinking to get kids to say America, yeah. And I know a ton of people are like 1774, America, love it or leave it. It's so narcissistic. It is the most narcissistic way of thinking. Like we are the best country on earth because we're not. We are a country that literally was built on the backs of slaves and had thrown people who should be here out. And yet people are like, guns in America and Walmart. Well, okay, great. That doesn't make us anything. This makes us the beginning of WALL-E.
I kind of feel like that's where we're at right now.
I mean, we even have chairs that do everything for us at this point. So
I do. I kind of feel like that's where we're at.
Yeah. We're all going to outgrow everything. We're going to have things done for us.
Or we'll have nuclear war, nuclear, however the fuck you say it. Don't come at me because I don't know how to say it. Nuclear? If you come at me because I don't know how to say it, you're fucking classist as shit.
Is it? I don't know how you said it, but is it? It's
nuclear. I think it's nuclear.
Nuclear or nuclear. Yeah.
Nuclear. See, I don't fucking know. Like I said, you don't come at me. You're classist if you do. Okay.
How did Bush say it? Can we say it the way? Oh wait, yeah, Bush. Bush said it. I want to say it the way Bush said it because he made more sense when he said it. Nuclear.
God, remember when he was our biggest problem? Do you remember? Because I do.
The warm melancholy of 2001.
Man, you know, sometimes if we only knew what we knew, if we only knew then what we knew now, you know. But like I was telling somebody, you know, nuclear, whatever, war, bombs, big boom. So me being where I am, located in the desert where I am, all we're going to have is the fallout.
Yeah.
That's it. So there is, unfortunately, a chance of survival.
Zombie apocalypse is coming.
Or like that stupid game that Chris used to play all the time, Fallout. Literally named after, you know, Fallout. You know, actually Fallout wasn't stupid. He was. I'm not going to blame Fallout because that was actually a really great game. And there have been times where I'm like, I should get a gaming system just to teach myself to that game so I can fucking play that game because I loved watching him play that game. Anyways, but it was, you know, they talked about Vegas. They did they did a whole video game of New Vegas. They called it New Vegas. And, you know, they talked about how Vegas essentially is in a bowl. And, you know, in reality, all as
it just settles in. Vegas, Phoenix, and Albuquerque are all bowls. I mean, Sedona's a bowl too, but it's a little bit higher. But
and if I can just get to the gas station, that's like a 10-minute walk. I mean, granted, if bombs are coming, but you know, if I can get to the walkout into the freezer, like a freezer of the gas station that's up the street,
right?
We can survive. You know, you have to wait a while until the radiation dissipates enough.
Right, but then you have ice and beer and water and
at least water. Yeah. At least water and some perishables while there's no power.
Right. You just have to bring like a whole rack of bread or something into the freezer with you.
They have. I've heard that and seen some videos of it going in and out of Nellis, and it makes me nervous. I've also seen some TikToks of other Air Force bases, and they're essentially giving them steak and lobster and crab legs. And I've been looking at the
Oh.
comments, and there are a few people that are like, yep, right before Iraq, that's what we got. And I was like, ooh, like, like there were some dudes, I was like, yep, right before Desert Storm, that's what we got. We got the good stuff. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, but if the U.S. does get involved in this war, it's like it's us against China, Russia, and North Korea.
I know. And right.
Thankfully, I'm 2 hours away from Phoenix, so I'm happy with that. I'm in the woo enclave, but then everybody's gonna
I'm
hate you.
not.
No.
I'm not. I'm
Just blink your
definitely
eyes and teleport.
No, no, no. Like I said, there's a fucking bar that's like, I'm sure they know me there. That they know my dad, and they know me because we go there to eat because they have really good
Right.
food. Yeah, no, I've had to stop myself from like wanting to buy like a backpack carrier for Salem
Oh,
because
oh,
I'm not leaving her. I'm not leaving my
no, you
cat.
shouldn't have to either.
Mm-mm.
You should be
Mm-mm.
safe and sound with you.
Now if she wants to go, okay, go. But if I put you in there,
Put you in there, you're coming with me.
really?
Come with me if you want to live.
You were in Desert Storm, Madison? Okay. I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know. All I know is what I seen. And
guns
they were
and rolling.
definitely military. And it definitely looked like a chow hall from what I've seen. Granted, I don't know many military people. I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot of military people. Um, I don't know a lot of law enforcement people either. My grandfather was the closest I've known to law enforcement, and he died when I was 12.
There's tons of caves. Actually, there's tons of caves in Sedona. You just have to know where to
There
find
are
them.
tons of caves, right?
Yeah.
There are
Well,
tons of caves. Okay, Jessica. So if shit gets really, really crazy, you need to call me. And I'm gonna pack Salem up, and and you'll pack your baby up, and we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll hide out. We'll be Mystic Cave women.
all of Nevada has mines, like
Mm-hmm.
mines no longer in use. Laughlin, Nevada. I went on an ATV ride, and my
Oh
uncle
yeah.
was pointing out. He's like, "Don't step there! Don't step there! Don't step there!" He's like, "There's a reason why you could just drop bodies off in a mine shaft and leave. Why there's no bodies? Nobody wants to go into these mines either. So,
No, no.
but at the same time, during a war, nuclear fallout, right angle, might as well
Mm-hmm.
dig deep and
Yes.
hang out there for a
Yeah.
while. Ooh, Amethyst Cave
I'll be fine with that.
with the
Right.
descent.
Ooh. No, oh god, that was a very well done horror movie. That
I
was a
haven't
very well
seen
done horror movie. Yes, we will. We'll write a book.
it. Write a book about being cave women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Being Mystic Cave women. That's right. That's right.
I'll just write a book about growing like an orb out of my third eye
Right.
when the fallout happens.
They will. They will. It'll be wild. Be wild. All I'm thinking of is freaking Mars Attacks and how like they come out of the cave with Tom Jones and
Right.
Tom Jones starts singing.
Not unusual.
Exactly. Exactly. It's exactly what It'll be like, we'll teach Salem how to talk. Hey, man, sometimes I'm like,
He does talk already.
I, I know that you understand me. I know she understands me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. Right now that I've really gotten my shit together, I'm laughing. Like, yes, we will. We'll teach our animals to talk. We'll connect with them. You know, now that we'll have all the distractions of man's world out.
Mind meld with the cat and dog. You
Yeah,
can have all the time
you
in the world.
know,
Just like stare straight into their third
we
eye and be like,
can.
I can teach you. You can bark, you can meow,
Mm-hmm.
you can also talk. Tell me what you want.
Yeah. And they'll be like, man, those two broads in the caves of Nevada, we'll rename it. We'll rename it the 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 lock and key caves. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Rename it the lock and key
Rename it
caves.
the talking manifestation cave.
Right.
And in 50 years, when everything gets better, you'll come out and the cat will be both the cat and the dog will be able to walk on their hind legs and order you around. It'll be a whole new world.
Oh, that gets a little in the Animal Farm, which scares me. But I read that book. I unfortunately read that book in high school.
The Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. And then we had to watch the movie. And yes, exactly. I'm telling you. I feel like that's what it is.
Time to exit the world and become a cocoon. By the way, we have 6 viewers. I don't know who else is
Yeah.
watching.
Y'all are
Uh,
just
we we
y'all are
do
just
also
watching us talk.
readings as
We
well.
do.
So if anybody wants
We do. We do.
to donate for a reading,
Yeah.
otherwise we'll just sit here and talk about the end of the world
We will. We will.
and
We will.
Salem and other random stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I am. Sure. No, I am. I could. I could do it.
Time
100%.
to just find a cave and like put rations in there.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out like what needs to happen, where to live in it. There's people are laughing at other people for stockpiling. Like there's part of me that thinks like Jim Baker, even though he was doing a cash grab for like all this food that can be dehydrated, like smart enough to sell it. And the weird part is, it's not weird, but I noticed Walmart has been selling cans of perishable goods or non-perishable goods for at least the last year, like huge tubs of
Mm.
butter, huge tubs of stuff for like just to make instant stuff like um, waffles or something like that. So who knows? Maybe they're trying to get in on the end of the world thing too. They know something we don't know.
Well, I know we need to grab a bunch of oregano, just FYI. Oregano is medicinal, super
Hmm.
medicinal, and you can make an oil from it, and that oil can be used to treat a variety of different things. So, there you go. Yep.
Ooh, garlic and rosemary strap. I want to come live with you guys.
You can come to the caves with us, Matt. And
Yay.
I feel like that would be okay.
Okay.
I do.
No windows for out. Wow.
Oof. Wow.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun.
No. No.
Uh,
Doesn't sound fun at all. No.
well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because as we have said for the last year, things are never going to go back to normal. And why not just jump from COVID to World War III and a new world order, and we'll be Chinese and Russian after a while.
No, I'm going underground, man. And unfortunately, my friend and I we had lunch and she said, "I'm afraid what that would mean for you and people like you." And I laughed and I said, "Oh no, no, no. Going underground." I said I'm going into it. I'm sure I'm going into a network.
Right.
No, and it won't just be me. It'll be me and a bunch of other minorities, you know. And no, no, I'll I'll run away before any of that shit.
Meanwhile, all the
What are
America
your nearest Costco?
1776. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, gallons and gallons of Crisco and gallons of tea. I'm sure Costco could survive a nuclear attack too.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's all made of. It's all really sturdy.
Mm-hmm. Concrete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
we'll
right.
just run to Costco for a run, then run back to the cave. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Food, water, wine, beer,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Yeah. You just need the
Cleaning
person from.
products.
Just need the person from
That's when we.
Costco
That's
who.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll get the Kyles and the Naruto runners all up in there with their monster energy, fucking
Right.
craziness. Be like, hey, dude, come on, Kyle. We need you, bro.
Begs the question though, if World War III really breaks out and they start nuking every place in the U.S., is Area 51 still going to be heavily guarded, or are they just going to give up the ghost and be like, "Yeah, sorry, there's aliens. We're sorry. We didn't. We meant to tell you, but." I mean, we might as well. The government. There is a book, and I think I've talked about it before, called "Behold a Pale Horse," and I don't know how true it really is, but it's supposed to be nonfiction, and it's a guy who worked for the government talking about the fact that the government is working with aliens, and different governments of the earth are working with different types and species of aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and there are bases on the moon, and the aliens really just want it to be known that they're here. But they also abduct people on a random basis. So basically, we're the human equivalent of guinea pigs. Like we're literally just they want to test us. So why would the government be so scared about saying, hey, there's actual aliens, unless they really do have a vested interest in keeping it private because it's nefarious.
Mm, right, X Files.
Yeah.
I've always felt that show was a little bit more true to life.
Yeah.
And then, God, what was? Oh my God, it was called Millennium. It was the show called Millennium, and not a lot of people have heard of it.
I haven't.
It was fucking amazing. So he was like essentially like this psychic detective, basically. Um, and but he like did the whole supernatural world.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really amazing show, but I feel as if sometimes it got a little too close to home as far as spirituality and the way things work.
Right.
Like yes, it's an amazing show. It really is. It was so good. Like I never got into X-Files, but I got into that show
I
for
haven't heard of
sure.
that show. Oh,
It's really good. It was on Fox.
nice. Hey, Joanne, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Do you have a question that you would like known? Um, I feel like X Files, and I feel like a lot of this quote unquote like planned out information is literally getting us to the point where the government's gonna be like, yeah, you're right. Like everything that you thought was science fiction is actually real. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Joanne. What your question is, girl?
Basically. That's a good way. That's a good way of
Yeah,
putting it, Madison.
yeah. And the whole book, Behold a Pale Horse, I listened to it on Spotify, and it makes a lot of sense. But I mean, why we shouldn't really trust the government, because like the government does not have your best interest at heart. The government is kind of the board of directors for a corporation, and the president is the CEO. The president doesn't give a shit about what's good for the people. All he's trying to do, and all he's ever been trying to do, is save money and make money for the board of directors, right? Like, so why should we think that anybody who gets elected in the office is allowing us to be free, allowing us to be anything other than what we've already been, slaves? So what the fuck is
There is a
wrong
lot going on. There's a lot going on.
with
Okay.
mm-hmm.
As far as your career or job, career, now I'm not saying to switch careers. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if where you're at, your voice is not being heard, if where you're at, you are constantly second guessing yourself, then it is time to move on for something that is going to give you this feeling. This feeling of, so succulents. I like that these cards use succulents because everyone thinks that succulents are really easy. And so everyone's like, oh, start gardening with succulents. It'll be super easy. Yes, they're super easy to a point. They're also really, really easy to kill as well. So if you cannot find ways to water your current surroundings or perhaps replant yourself in a different pot because you can't grow where you're at anymore, then you might want to go, because yes, your voice is being restricted. Yes, you're being restricted. No, this isn't all in your head. No, you're not being too emotional. No. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, sure. Okay. If we're talking old you, sure. But you as you are now, no. And I don't. And as far as the relationship goes, I pulled an oracle card for that and we got reconciliation. I'm really thinking this is a weird rough patch that is going to define where your relationship goes. So be very careful with how you resolve this issue, with how you communicate, and just be very careful. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, Joanne. I'm going to say something just a tad bit different. And I'm also not telling you that you need to find something different. But what I am saying and what I will say is that your relationship status and the cred with your relationship directly affects and is affected by the relationship you have with this job. They're both one and the same. The same idea is coming up for both. The relationship cred is coming up simply because value, like not feeling valued, not feeling heard, but it's also coming up with the job because not feeling valued, not feeling heard. It's one big cavalcade of how do you view yourself? Where are you standing in your own power? And where are you letting this power go? Both cases, you're not standing in the power that you were given. You're not taking the advantages or advantage of what is currently being offered. Um, with the relationship itself, I don't know if you're dating somebody or what's going on with that, but I think shades of the past are coming back to haunt you. These shades of the past have been coming back for the past 6 months. You haven't really taken advantage of the fact that it was easy to clean it out back then. Same thing with the job. There have been ideas that I should move on. I should understand who I truly am. I should understand what I'm truly getting myself into. You have not listened to yourself over the past 6 months. You've not listened to the old you. You have not listened to the universe as it's saying, deal with this stuff now because it'll be easier. And now you're at this point where you have to really face it. You really have to face the, oh shit, I should have dealt with it effectively before. Now I have to go deep, dig deep, and I have to really deal with it. You're going to, if you don't deal with your relationship effectively and you don't deal with the job effectively, both will end. And I will say that it probably, don't quote me on this, something ending is probably a whole lot easier right now than going back and figuring out where everything went wrong. If you really want to end, you can't just keep one and drop the other. Both are going to resonate and relinquish the control as you move forward. So working on the relationship and working on the job. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Is it doable? Yes. Is it really necessary? And that's where you have to take a look at where you currently are. Are you at this point in your life where you really want to deal with the old shit? Are you really want to deal with feeling unstable, unsecured, unhappy, and unheard? Or are you willing to move on? Are you willing to say, fuck it, this is never going to change? I can change it by doing something else, by being somewhere where I am needed, where I'm wanted, where I feel that I am doing better for myself and in love and in business. There's really not an ending idea to this there, but there is you taking a look at it and probably jumping ship on both. But again, whatever you do past this reading is totally up to you. You have free will. How much do you really want to work on it? How much do you really want to eke and scrimp and save and understand what needs to happen for you to be happy, for you to move forward, and for you to find out what you truly want to do? All this shit over the past 6 months has been getting you to that point of like, you should really speak up. You should really speak out. You should really drop the dead weight. And now it's like, no, here it is. The dead weight is dropped right in your lap. And you're just like, oh shit. Okay. What do I do with this? Only you know. Only you know. But are you happy? Either way, are you happy? That's the only thing that really matters in both circumstances. Are you happy? If you're not happy with what's being dropped in your lap, if you're not happy with the idea of I want to fight with it or want to fight for this, and if you're not going to fight for it, why fight? Why fight? Just let it go. But that's up to you. And that's all I have. Woohoo! Terry, I'm new. I guess whatever. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry. Sure. We can do general. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I got a cash app.
Sweet swing with the new job. Yes, the relationship and back and forth. But again, the job and the relationship are one of the same. Yeah. And if you're back again, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face, if it is not an emphatic yes, and if it's not a yes, then it is an immediate no. And if you're going to waste your time on a no that you're trying to make into a yes, you're just wasting your time in general. Hi, Terry. All right. So she just wants a what? She wants
I guess
a
general.
general. Okay.
Welcome, welcome.
Yay!
I'm using the zombie tarot for you, Miss Terry.
Zombie.
Mm-hmm. Who's feeling it? Who's feeling it? Mm-hmm. There we go. Mm-mm. Mm. There's a lot of cards, Terry.
All right. Hold on. We're gonna try a different set of
Praying.
cards because this is making no sense. It's not that you're not making sense, Terry. It's just that I'm getting conflicting stories.
Yeah, my cards are really conflicting too. So,
Oh,
but I kind of feel like that's what's up. I don't want to say there's conflict because there's not. I feel like there's a lot of indecision right now, Miss Terry. And I feel like there's now when I say indecision, you know the direction you want to go. We are just so afraid that the actions that we're going to take are going to create quite a kerfuffle because things have been going so smoothly. And I almost get the feeling that you're like, okay, well, what if I'm doing this, but really it's just because I'm bored and I'm just doing this and I'm caught and I'm and I'm just and I'm just and I'm just and I'm just. What do you just? What do we just? Are we just going to allow life to play out in the ways that it has? Hasn't been good, but it hasn't been great. It hasn't been bad. You know, it's been good. Excuse me. I want to say that things are very even right now. And some of our I don't want to say impulses because you're calling them impulses. I'm not calling them impulses. You're calling them impulses. I'm saying ideas. Your ideas are good ideas. And I feel as if they should be implemented. But I also feel that that will make it to where we lose control, the control that we have thus far in our lives. And you know, granted, I'm not a therapist, but one of the greatest pieces of advice my therapist gave me was, oh, honey, you watch all those shows because it's easy for you to know how it's going to end. And your life is a TV show and you don't know how it's going to end right now. So that probably fills you with a lot of anxiety. It's like, you know, I don't really need to be called out that way, but thank you. And I feel that sometimes that's very valid for a lot of different people too. We do things because we know it's not going to cause any problems. It's not going to change our lives dramatically, and it's not going to put us in situations that we might necessarily regret later. Here I come with my big but. But
or
I
you get to
need
be
you
it.
to. I need you to. I need you to follow the ideas to fruition, even if it seems really crazy, even if it seems really reckless, even if it seems like you're just doing it for your own satisfaction. Because, yeah, why not? Don't you deserve to be satisfied? And that's it. Thank you.
Whew. Terry, no need to be nervous. You are good. You have always been good. You will always be good. You are well taken care of, and you know that. Um, but the feeling is that sometimes you think that you're not well taken care of because you tend to wander off into the darkness and go, see, I'm in the darkness. I'm not taken care of, but you You wandered off on your own into the darkness. You're the one who decided, like, I don't like this light anymore. I don't like this. This makes so much sense. Let me fuck it all up.
Excuse me.
And 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 I'm not trying to be mean about it, but we do get to this point sometimes where, oh, life is supposed to be hard, and if it's not hard, then I'm doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything right. You're doing everything the way you need to do it, but you're listening to your head way too much. You're overthinking everything way too much. And the universe, like, hold up, come back to the light. You're in the darkness way too much. You don't need to be there. Not everything has to be hard. Not everything has to be a struggle. You're only allowing it to be a struggle because you don't believe that you are worthy of something better, which is bullshit thinking. And that's the nicest way I can think about it. You have put yourself in the I must struggle, and the universe is not allowing me to have what I truly want. But you have put yourself there. The universe, like, baby girl, like, come on, come back to the light, come back to the happiness, come back to the understanding that you are the center of everything. We got you, we feel you, we understand you, and stop with the thinking that if one thing isn't in place, then everything else is out of place, because everything is in the place that it needs to be based on your perception. Now, most of the time, 8 times out, 80% of the time, your perception is right on. Your perception, your feeling, your heart, everything is right on, and you're in the light, and you're at this point where it's like, I'm growing and I'm understanding. 20% of the time is what where we go off into the darkness, and that 20% of the time ends up making it feel like it's the 80% of the time, when it's not really like that, because it takes you so long to get out of that darkness. But it's also at this point where, like, you can take yourself out and at any moment's notice, but you keep putting yourself back in. You slowly, like, the things that you want, the things that you see, the things that you feel, it's there. It's really, really just there. But you need to stop telling yourself that you can't have it. You need to stop putting yourself in this feeling of, I am not worthy of the things that I seek, because you are worthy of the things that you seek, because what you are seeking is seeking you. And just take a moment, take some time, take some beautiful energy time to just breathe and enjoy life and enjoy what is in the moment working for you. And realize that if it is working for you, if it is feeling good, keep moving towards it, and don't go off into this corner and say, see, I did something and it didn't work out. Well, because you decided to go off into the corner and decided it wasn't going to work, and decided that the universe didn't want to give you this. But you're the one deciding, so you're also the one that can take yourself out of this. You're still going to be battling a lot of like the what, for, how to, and why, but you're finding the light, and you'll continue finding that light. Just let it happen naturally. Let it come to you naturally. Let it find its way to you, and understand that even on your darkest moments, it's going to sound weird. It's not going to sound weird. Even on your darkest moments, he's still there. He knows what to do, what to say, and how to keep you safe. And you know who that is. And that's all I got.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Hello.
Hola. Hold on. Let's see what else we have here. Ow. Oh, nope, nothing. All right. What else we got? Happy Sunday, everybody.
Right?
Why is my I swear to God, like, every electronic device is screwing up somehow. Like, my ring light, like, I got a really nice new ring light, and it's not working correctly with a power block and out
Oh,
of one of my plugs, but I switched the power block and plugged it somewhere else, and now it's fine.
no.
So
You're welcome, Terry.
you're welcome.
I hope that made sense.
God, I
I
hope
hope
it
we made sense. That's all. That's all I hope. That's all I
did.
hope. That's all I hope. Mm, mm, mm. Anybody else? I will. I'm gonna do last call right now.
Myself out.
So we'll give it about 10 more minutes, and then Matt and I are gonna wrap it up because it's
This is
Sunday,
right.
and we got day jobs. You know, I got a day job, and
Yeah.
since since I have gotten my license, it has gotten a little busier.
Ooh.
Hopefully by today or tomorrow, I will have access and I can actually start doing the quoting portion, and I can start making some commission because that would be
Sweet.
lovely.
So you can actually start like selling insurance.
In the state of California, yes, yes.
Ooh.
So legally, legally, because I am licensed in the state of Nevada, if I had a friend who lived in Nevada and they wanted me to go over their insurance policy, legally I would be able to. I would not legally be able to quote them, but I would be able to look at it and be like, okay, yes, this is good. No, this is not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So cool.
legally I can start talking to people about coverage. Hi, my blue lights in the background. Hi, Kelly. So it
Good.
is this. It's this thing.
This
It's
is
one of
so
those
cool.
projector lights. I got it on Amazon. Hold on. I'll put the link
And
in
while
there.
she's doing that, Shannon, we don't do readings if we feel drawn. We don't do any of that. We simply go on a donation basis. If you want to donate $5 or more, we'll gladly read you. Let us know.
Sure.
The link is somewhere in the chat. We will
It's
give you
pinned.
a beautiful reading. Yeah, the link is pinned in the chat. If you don't have PayPal, we will find another way. It's like you're under the sea too. Like that's the most
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Yeah. It's got other colors. Yeah, I bought it in 2021. And
Whoa.
I do like the other colors. Okay, here it is. Is it? No, do they not have it anymore?
Ooh. No.
Oh, okay, wait.
Oh.
Hold on. It's just, you know how they do this sometimes. It's like it switches and jumps and it's so stupid. Where's the little share button?
Kelly, we do tarot, intuitive, or are you asking what what like what would we read on? Like if you're paying the money, you can ask whatever question you want. Just understand that you are paying money for a question, and we will be as straightforward as humanly possible. But we do tarot, intuitive. We channel deities. You might get a deity depending on whatever witchcraft is happening at the moment.
It's true.
I still like all my stuff that is lights up the light or lights up my place is still in my car. Like I keep forgetting to like take it out, and then I keep having like random bowls in my car, like singing bowls in my car. Like I have to take it out because like my lights.
So
Lights.
it was 40. So for the projector light is 40. Yeah.
Not bad.
If that's what you're talking about, Kelly.
If you're asking about a reading, it's $5.
Yes. But yeah, this has, so it's compatible with my Amazon. And so sometimes it times out and it's like I have to relog back in and it won't respond on Amazon, which is a little frustrating, but it's like whatever. And you can change the
Huh.
color. Um, let me see.
For reading Kelly, it's $5 minimum donation.
Mhm.
Less than the price of a cup of coffee. You too can have two woo-woo people reading you on a Sunday night.
So you can change the colors.
Oh, sweet.
I could do.
Wait, is the link that you just shared? It's what that is?
Yeah,
I need to buy that.
yeah. Then I can do the dark blue is pretty dope. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, that's the gold. That's the gold. Sure.
cool. We'll be here.
Hmm.
Oh, I really like that. The blue and purple and I think red.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Under the sea, just you and me.
Right?
That's so amazing. It's amazing what you can buy on Amazon.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
So I lead meditations or a new meditation on Tuesdays, and I bought LED candles that change color. And if I just click a
Ooh,
button, they flicker, and literally it's just like
that's
it's the
dope.
only light in the room, so it's just so amazing. And the people who were there on Tuesday commented that like the flickering actually helped them.
Nice. Well, yeah, because it's like a real candlelight, so that would make
Yeah.
sense. I mean, to me, that would make sense. It makes sense. She says she donated.
Kelly, I got your donation. What is your question? What do you want to know? What would you like to be imparted to you? I don't know why I'm emphasizing my T's. And thank you for your donation. I appreciate it. You're keeping me in Amazon products. Wait, so does the projector that you have is it sound activated? Like if you play music through it,
It
will it?
could, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
cool.
Hi, Treasure.
Treasure.
Good to see you too.
Hi. Long time no see.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly. Do. What messages does Source Spirit or angels have for me this week?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Mhm. Okay, okay. I gotta say it because I'm just getting. It's just sing, 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 sing. So I don't know if you. I don't know if that means anything to you, but whoever is here will not stop. So message delivered. Thanks. Thank you.
I'll start, Kelly.
Yep.
Um, Not everything is about money. Not everything is about abundance does not mean money. Abundance does not mean you're going to be rich. So not doing something because you don't see aka the point or you don't see a reason that it will be fulfilling abundantly or won't give you money is not a good way not to do something. That just made no sense. It's a good you, just because you're not making money at it does not mean that you should not do it. Also, it's not a choice. You act like it's a choice. You act like, oh, I'm not going to do it because it's not a fucking choice. You know this. um, and you will be happier by just giving in and saying, okay, let me try this, let me do what I can do. Will money come in eventually? um, but stop having a full stop on it and going no, because no, I don't see it. It doesn't matter what you see, and this is as nice as I can put it. It doesn't matter what you see, because other deities, other spirits, everything else sees the potential. And because you don't see the potential, you think you're in control and you're not in control. So you, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter what answer that you've given to yourself or tried to convince yourself otherwise, or the universe, because you keep saying no, maybe later, I don't see it, they don't care, because it's where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. And maybe it is singing, maybe it is expressing yourself in a more positive way. I don't know how it does feel positive. So I feel like you haven't been expressing yourself in the best ways lately. This is a better way to do it. And honestly, you are going to be happier if you just do it. If you just say, okay, whatever. And you can always just tell yourself, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the fun. Really? You don't have 5 minutes of your time to just kind of like enjoy yourself, to express yourself the way that you need to really tell the universe what you want? Because that is a bold-faced lie. Every time we say, no, I'll do it later, or no, I don't want to, nobody cares what you want to do or don't want to do. If you have a calling, you are going to do it. If you don't see a way to make it work, then give it time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
Like, just because you don't see something or see the benefit doesn't mean it can't happen. Doesn't mean that as soon as you do something, amazing things will happen and everything will open up for you. Again, if you're going to make it all about money, then you're already at a loss, because you feeling, oh, I have lack and I can't do it, instantly brings in more lack. So stop with the lack, stop with the I can't do it, stop with the I don't have time, and start with the, hey, I want to do this because I'm feeling it. I want to do this because it feels good. And anybody else telling you you're wasting your time, fuck them. Because it's your time, you spend it how you wish. And somebody gaslighting you and saying, but you need to take care of this. Okay, well, I still have 5 minutes of my day to express myself the way I want to, express it positively, and realize that it is not a choice. It keeps going back to, it is not a choice. Whether you think it's a choice or not, or you express to yourself that it's a choice, it is not a choice, because it will keep moving you forward and it will keep coming back until you finally say yes. That's all I got.
All right. So I agree with, it is gonna keep coming back. And for the first time, I don't want to say for the first time, but I feel as if we have been given a very heavy demonstration of our own personal power. And it hasn't spooked us, but it's just made us a little more cautious. And I need you to not be as cautious. Like, I need you to realize that you're not one of those people that are nefarious or you don't have an agenda, because that's just no. You're not Sylvia Brown. Like, you're not, you know. And the worst part about her is she at one point in time was legitimate. Like, but because she got gritty, they took it away and they took her down. Honey, that doesn't have to be you. You know, you don't even have to do this to, like, you don't have to do this to make the kind of money. Like, if you just want to, oh, you might be a little young. I just realized, just aged myself. Hold on. We're gonna pin that. I'll bring it back. Um, I need you to realize that you can do good works and positive works without taking advantage of people. So just keep that in mind as you start to navigate this. Now, back to Sylvia Brown. So, back in the 90s, there used to be a talk show host named Montel Jordan. And
Michael Williams.
Montel Jordan is a uh they're an artist, right? A musical artist, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's who I'm getting. Anyways,
I'm not sure.
but Montel Williams had a talk show, and once a month he used to bring on Sylvia Brown, and
in a good way.
she was awesome, and she was factual, but she ended up blowing up, going viral, as the kids say. And she wrote all these books, and she did all these big workshops, where people spent thousands of dollars to, have her, bark at them, basically. And I want to say towards the end of the 90s, I even started to notice that she was like straight up like arguing with people when people were like, I don't, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, okay, well, as these things happen, she got raided by the FBI, and it turned out that she wasn't doing anything, that she didn't have proper licensing set up to conduct her business. And they pretty much said that she was a fraud. And she got fined hundreds of thousands of dollars. And
I didn't know that.
Her name was tarnished. Anything to do with any type of readings, totally tarnished. And yeah, she was actually in a documentary about some people who were looking for their loved one who had died, went on the Montel Williams show, and she told them that their family member was dead, and she wasn't. She wasn't. She was essentially being held. Like it was like man, you really missed the mark.
That was the girl who was being held in the basement, and yeah, the guy who just came back from McDonald's was like, I just saw a white girl running towards me.
Yes. Yeah. She told their family that she was dead. And that's why I tell people I don't talk to dead people. I don't do it. Because one, that is one of the, I've seen so many YouTube videos. I fooled this psychic by pretending I had a dead relative. Yeah. And it sucks. So yeah, so I don't do dead people. Well, one, dead people don't like me anyways, and that's fine because I don't like them. So go on, leave. You're not supposed to be here. Bye. This is an Earth. This is the Earth. You're not supposed to be here anymore. Bye. So yeah. So it's just, yeah.
There, if you look up Sylvia Brown Montel, you'll find a few times where she has been wrong. Like, and he kept having her on, and she it got worse and worse and worse because she would tell people something, and then it would come out later that either this person wasn't sick or something else happened. So she became kind of a fraud. And I haven't seen this. Before she died, I saw her twice. Go figure. My mom wanted to go see her, so I went with her. And really good live speaker. Mm-hmm. But when you do it all for money, you take away the point of why you have this gift. So she started doing it all for money. She wasn't, first of all, she wasn't doing anything. She was just doing the high price stuff and leaving
She was.
all the small stuff to her lackeys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she went from being very valuable to just being a floating boat in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Treasure, got your donation. Marquita and Amanda, we do things a little bit differently. We do things via donation. If you would like to donate, we will stay on after Treasures. If not, Treasure is going to be our last reading
Mm-hmm.
for the night, so we can both go. I got to find
Yes.
food, but
I ate
Treasure.
already.
Ooh, am I ready
I
to find a
did.
goddess or god or deity to add to my? Ooh.
So, my love, my darling, what's wrong with yours? You have a perfectly acceptable deity and a perfectly acceptable goddess figure. Are they within the wheelhouse of Western culture? Sure. Absolutely. But let me tell you, one of the best rituals I went to, they called in Christ and the Virgin Mary as the Lord and Lady. And I thought to myself for a minute, hey. But the story tracks. The story of Jesus is that God impregnated himself into that of a virgin. That virgin then bore God, raised God, and watched God die. Hear me out. Um, Hear me out. Because I feel that as far as beginners go, this is going to be the energy that is going to be the easiest for you to connect with, identify with, and associate with. And then, if you really want to move outside of your wheelhouse, sure. And I am getting a very heavy Brigid and Kernunos. Brigid is still within the, they Christians took her and made her, a saint. So still within the wheelhouse. Um, okay, yes, okay. You need the fire. 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 Okay, okay, okay. Okay. You need the fire, my love. So go ahead and work with Bridget. And you can also work with Kernunos. And Kernunos is the horned god. He is the god of the hunt. He is very much I don't want to say a Christ figure because he is far from it, but he has that strength because you need the strength and the fire. Okay. My lady. I'm being told, well, she needs the strength and the fire. She needs the strength and the fire. Will you tell her that she needs the strength and the fire? There you go. You need the strength and the fire. So apparently, what my message was, is not correct, because they've claimed you. They've stepped up. I don't want to say they've claimed you, but they've stepped up. Kernunos. So Kernunos is the horned god within the Celtic tradition. He is the god of the hunt. He is the stag. He is their father god. He is their main. He's their main man, and he watches over the sacred hunt, which brings the abundance to us all. He is the sacred hunter, and he is He is the bringer of the fire. Bridget holds the fire,
Hmm.
but he is the bringer of the fire. So, yes, that's all. Thank you.
Two things. Kelly, I'm going to start with you. We're not saying don't become a fake psychic. I
Mm-hmm.
think what we're saying is you, in essence, your dreams are simple right now. Um, things are going to change, and I can guarantee you things are going to change once you start working with energy and Reiki, and you're going to open yourself up to a whole lot of new things. And because it doesn't fit in that specifically designed container that you think of right now, it may just pass you by, and you're going to be like, what do you mean work with light and other things and bring people through a transformative portal? It's a thing, but just because you're like, but I want to work with Reiki, okay, Reiki is energy. Reiki is divine energy. As soon as you commune with God and energy from God, things start happening. So I'm telling you right now that once you start using more of this energy and laying hands on people and opening yourself up to divine influence, things are going to change. Things will change. Things are going to change in a big way, and you're going to get scared, and you're going to go, no, I don't want to do this. And this is why I think both of us have said you need to start communicating deeply and just going with it, because you're going to look at it and go, but this scares me. It doesn't matter if it scares you. You need to do it. You think I started, so I do a lot of different things. I read tarot, I do Reiki, I do energy work, and I bring people on meditative shavasana. Um, it just opened up, and the moment it opens up is the moment that you have to go with it. You think I knew what the fuck I was doing? I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm doing it now. So as things open up, just allow it to envelop you. Allow that white light, that energy, that God influence to envelop you, because the moment you say no to God is the moment that you're going to be shit out of luck. So just keep saying yes, and you'll find out what's going on. Treasure. I don't know who your current deity is, but you need to apologize to it. Um, and it's not coming back on your hands and knees and going, I'm so sorry for overlooking you. It is, I'm so sorry because I forgot you were there, because I haven't worked with you for so long, and I need to apologize and see how we can work together currently. You don't need a new God in the moment. You need to repair the relationship with your current deity and make sure everything is okay. It is a possibility that once you repair the relationship with old fella, that they may just say, okay, thank you, I relinquish you to the next person. But do not don't sit there and go, well, I have nobody, because you do have somebody. You have somebody. It doesn't matter if you know how to work with them or not. You need to talk to them, and you need to apologize for letting them go early. And that's what I have to say. And because also, if you don't apologize for letting them go early and giving them the opportunity to say stay or go, you won't be able to fully work with who the next people are, the next deities are, because they will not allow it. So you might just be shooting the gun early, as they say. So again, find out what needs to be repaired, and you'll figure out what you need, and you'll find God, why is this song, I've lost that love and feeling?
All
Okay,
right. All
so
right.
because of
All
that,
right. Hey.
yeah, because of you've lost that love and feeling does not mean that the loving feeling was lost. And just because you don't understand doesn't mean that they are still not there. So get back that love and feeling, because it's not gone. It's still there, and you still have the energy, and you still have the motivation. So move forward.
You are very welcome, Kelly.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
hey there, Miss Marquita. Just I just don't want you to think we're ignoring you. And I'm not sure if you caught Matt when he said it earlier, but we do things a little different here. We do donation-based readings. It's not based on whether or not you'd love one or whether or not you were drawn to you. Everyone would love a reading. Let's be real, absolutely. But Matt and I do ask that for the exchange of energy that we provide, that you do just the minimum donation of $5. The link is pinned in the comment section. And if you don't have PayPal, we have Cash App or Venmo. But with that being said, Matt and I have been on for a little over 2 hours, and it is a Sunday night, so we're going to call it a night. I will give you a little bit of time to answer. I'll give you just a minute or two because I know there is a lag.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday evening and
my.
wind down and have some
Yeah.
ice cream and
And you are totally welcome, Kelly. Thank you for coming on and asking. And we are both very straight shooters. And I've tried to turn over a new leaf of being tactful yet strong. So I'm hoping I wasn't offending you, but it is very much this thing of just because you don't think something is going to happen doesn't mean it won't happen, and you need to be just ready because there is light behind you. There's a huge amount of light and healing behind you. Either you need to heal or you need to heal other people. And once you open up that light, whoo, baby, it comes and it doesn't stop. So
damn right.
Pleasure.
You're very welcome, Treasure. It's so lovely to see you. Missed you. Missed your energy. Missed you. And hopefully, Kelly, we'll see you again next week. You can always come and hang out. We have folks that come and hang out with us. Amanda wasn't here tonight, but Amanda's another reader, and she usually comes and hangs out with us. And we typically have a lot of readers that come and hang out with us.
Read for readers. We have people that enjoy.
So you're in good company. And you can find me here on this page. I will again address the fact that I am not posting anything right now. So I am dealing with something called imposter syndrome right now, and it is a very real thing, and it is very debilitating, and it is very shitty, and it is very heavily making his presence known within my life. I actually force myself to do this because, I know that it's good for me and I know that it'll bring me back around. But, I really am struggling with, whether or not I should be, and whether or not I am, and whether or not I'm an authority. And so, mental illness sucks, guys. And, if anything, I try to be as transparent as I can because I do want other readers that are struggling to know that, yes, it's, you can be mentally ill and be spiritual and be a reader. But right now I'm not posting because if I were to post, I would be in this really horrible loop, and I explained it to a good friend of mine today because they asked, well, why aren't you writing your book? And I was like, I know that wasn't your intention, but I actually am going to ask you to stop because I'm about to spiral right now because I know I'm not doing this. And so I'm just going to keep, and it's just going to be like, well, you're not doing it. Well, of course you're not doing it because you're full of shit and you shouldn't be doing it anyways. And what does it matter? Like, my head is a very noisy place right now.
Can I give you unwarranted advice?
Sure.
This is coming from somebody with severe imposter syndrome. And I'm not telling you do it. I'm saying imposter syndrome sneaks up really badly when you are on the precipice of something different, when you are on the precipice of a change. And I think you already know that. And things are about to change, but you just have to allow that. And the imposter syndrome isn't really going to go away, but you also need that point in time of rest and relaxation to understand energy in, energy out. So just allow that time, don't force it. And it may take a few weeks, it may take a few months, but there's a lot of change that is going on right now within you, within a lot of other people, and it's really just amping up and going, fuck, I have so much to do and so much to impart, but it's not who I am. And it's going to keep getting like that until it levels out. So
Yes. No, I totally know, and I appreciate that, and that was not unsolicited or unwarranted at all. That was actually very helpful. Thank you. Because un unfortunately, some of the people that I have been discussing this with don't have a great concept of what it is.
mhm.
And so they're like, I'm just trying to give you a pep talk.
Pep talks don't
And
work, especially
and
when
I
you're sitting in your
appreciate
head.
it,
Yeah, yeah,
but what your pep talk is doing is reminding me of everything I'm not doing right now, which only exacerbates my feeling of failure.
yeah.
So please don't. I had to have that conversation with somebody today. I said, please don't, because I know you mean well and your intentions are super good and I love you and adore you, but no, no. This don't say that. Don't don't say that. So, um so yeah, so no, and eventually I'll post, and soon I'm going to do On the Hedge with Shannon. We're going to be
Ooh,
doing something. We're kind of gearing up for that. Maybe not this Friday, but maybe not this Friday, but next Friday. So stay tuned for that. And I come here and hang out with you because it does give me great joy. So thank you.
aw, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This
And
has been a
where can
great
they
day to
find
do
you,
this.
Matt?
Oh God, where can you now find me? I'm omnipresent at this very moment. You can find me on my page, Matt, uh, Healing with Matt, Ascend with Matt, on my Facebook page. On Instagram, I do a live. I do in-person meditations every Saturday and every Tuesday. This week, I am doing. Oh God, I am doing an empowerment portal that is unfortunately isn't available to the general public, but I'm going to be leading a breathwork session and a meditation session. And Tuesday nights, I'm in Cottonwood, and then I will in the next month be starting a weekly breathwork / sound bath event. So you can find me anywhere. If you're ever in Sedona, look me up. And I offer one-on-one sessions for breathwork, Reiki, uh, meditation, and sound baths. So I'm here. I'm around.
Yeah. Well, gosh. Well,
Yeah.
Matt, I will see you next week. And
See you
thank
next
you
week.
to everybody. It's been a pleasure. And maybe we'll see you next week. Have a lovely
Bye.
night, everybody.
Have a beautiful evening. Bye.